the little star who couldn't shine. High up in the velvet night sky, twinkling in a sea of diamonds, lived a little star named Pip. Pip had a perfect pointy shape and a warm, friendly heart, but there was one big problem: Pip couldn't shine. While all the other stars gleamed and glimmered, sending beautiful silver light down to earth, Pip's glow was just a tiny, flickery whisper. He would puff out his starry cheeks and strain with all his might, but only the faintest little pft of light would sputter out. The other stars were kind. "You'll get the hang of it, Pip," they'd say brightly. But Pip wasn't so sure. He felt dull and useless, just a little gray smudge in the glorious night. One evening, a great, glittering swirl of shooting stars raced across the sky. "Come on, Pip," one called out. "Let your light guide you. It's wonderful fun." Pip took a deep breath and jumped, trying to zoom after them. But without a strong beam to guide him, he tumbled clumsily, and over pointy end, and began to fall, faster and faster, right out of the sky. He landed with a soft poof in a pile of moss by a quiet pond. The world looked very different from down here. The grass was a forest, dandelions were fluffy suns, and the pond was a giant, dark mirror. Pip felt very alone and very, very unshiny. Just then, he heard a small, snuffly sound. A little earthworm was trying to wriggle its way through the dark to get home, but it had lost its path. "Oh dear," said the earthworm. "It's so dark. I can't see a thing." Pip's heart gave a little thump. He strained with all his might, trying to shine. But again, all that came out was a feeble pft. The earthworm stopped. "Hello," it said. "Is that a tiny firefly?" Pip was about to say no, he was a failure of a star, when he saw something. His little pft of light, however small, had landed on a single pebble right in front of the earthworm. It was just enough to show the worm which way to turn. "Oh, thank you," said the earthworm, and it wriggled happily onto the right path. "Your little light is a great help." Pip was stunned. His light? A help? A moment later, a moth fluttered past, looking dizzy and confused. "I've lost the moon," it cried. "Which way is the moon?" Pip puffed out another pft. The tiny speck of light caught the moth's eye. It wasn't the moon, but it was a friendly little beacon in the vast dark. The moth fluttered gratefully towards it for a rest before flying on. One by one, Pip found his little pft was just enough. He showed an ant the way around a big dewdrop. He helped a mouse find one last seed it had dropped. His light wasn't big and brilliant, but it was gentle, and it was right there when the small creatures of the night needed it most. High above, the other stars peered down, looking for their lost friend. They expected to see nothing but darkness where Pip had fallen. But instead, they saw a most wonderful sight. Around the pond, tiny points of light were blinking on and off, weaving a gentle, dancing path through the dark. It was Pip, puffing with all his heart, being a guide, a friend, and a tiny lantern. He wasn't shining for the whole world to see. He was shining for the ones who needed it most right where they were. And the other stars agreed, as they twinkled proudly down at him, that Pip's gentle, helpful glow was one of the brightest and most beautiful lights they had ever seen. Pip, finally, felt perfectly shiny. The end.